Guys, I'm taking deep breaths right now. Trying to stay composed.
Players are doing the exact same.
Yeah.
Imagine how
it's
you feel right
for
now.
Me right now.
There's 8 players up there that all have so much money on the line, and these are life-changing amounts. This is no
without a doubt. I already mentioned kind of the stats earlier. There have not been many million-dollar tournaments. In fact, there have only been 8 in non-team games, right? With just one player getting all the money. There have only been $8 million. And this tournament is $1,000,001. Making it 4th on its own because I'm providing $1 to the prize pool so we can be 4th.
Thanks to Axeltoss.
And then again, I also mentioned in the history of esports all time, if you win here and you haven't won anything else, you will automatically be number 240 as far as earnings in esports.
Which is high up there.
When you think about all the games and all the money, like that's pretty ridiculous.
What's going through your head right now, Scoundrel?
My heart is racing for these guys. Even just commentating on the amount of money that is available for one single player, it's a life-changing amount. That's not just sort of, oh yeah, I had a good weekend. This is, I potentially set myself up for years. I potentially take this home to my family and change our lives. I potentially have a whole future ahead of me that I never had available to me before. This is a crazy amount of money to win as one of these players, and you can see we're now into game. Jinsu is off to a good start.
Yeah, and before you guys jump into the commentary of the penultimate game, we actually had a chance to sit down with the CEO of Dragon Nest, Li Longfei.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in on the Auto Chess Invitation in Shanghai. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And I'm also very moved by the reaction of the audience. And we will bring more features and mods in the future. Please stay tuned.
All right, so there you have it. Potentially more events in the future.
Ooh,
and
I'm excited.
To stay tuned. So possibly some hints going on for more tournaments.
I hope so. I think we're going to see a lot of competition for this game. It's fantastic, and we can see right now the game points as it stands. Chuck down at 11 and Jinsu up at 34 is the spread of points that we see. And I'm having a look at where each of our individual players are standing. Chuck off to a good start with a 2-star Skybreaker and 2 Heaven Bombers on the field. I saw on Jinsu's board he had two Hell Knights and also two Skybreakers himself.
Wow, look at those items there with the Frantic Mask already off of round 3. So something to look into going, potentially Knight's Glacier once again for Jinsu. And that's exactly what he has on his board already. A couple pairs of very important units. Switches out the Hell Knight for the 1-star Aegis Ranger. I think I would actually rather put the Hell Knight in here if you are going for the win. But he gets put up against Shredded. Shredded going straight into the open fort.
Shredded actually matched directly into land. So Shredded actually can't generate the same lose streak that he would have been able to before. It'll only affect his economy by 1 round, and it also means that his big lose streak can't be affected by going into land in the future, at least for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, this is one of the things that we talked about with Shredded and the strategy of going in that open fort. It's a little bit of a gamble because, again, same thing, if he doesn't get the rolls this time, if he gets put up against another open forter and loses his streak, which he already has, but if he gets put up against him over and over and starts middling into a open fort, he can very easily, and more easily than any other player in the lobby, get 8th.
Yeah.
And if he gets 8th, then he opens the door wide open for anybody to take it over his spot. And then he's right back to where everybody else is.
So Shredded will have to be careful. He has made this strategy work a lot for him. But again, it is a popular build that he's contesting with a build that Jinsu is already pretty keen to work towards because he's already got those Hell Knights on the board. Chuck actually going to lose, given how crazy his start is here. He's going to lose to Archdevil. I mean, we have got some high-rolling starts. Seiko, Kong, Chuck, Archdevil, all with a lot of 2-stars on the board already. This is like the final lobby of a $1 million auto chess tournament, and we have got high-rolling from left and right.
Yeah, Archdevil here, he's looking at a potential feather build once more, and it looks like he's, I mean, just with the Druids in there, the 2 stars, he's actually not in a bad position, but those are going to start falling off really quickly. I think he is going to keep his win streak with so many lose streakers early on that he should be okay, depending on his matchups.
Boomerang also open forting, by the way, here, and Shredded and Land. So we have 3 open forters in one game, I think.
Which is absolutely devastating for Shredded. He is in the position right now where that affects him more than anybody else.
I think so. I think it does. He has managed to avoid Boomerang for the time being. As you know, he's already faced up against Land, so he might very unlikely to find Land again before the neutral round.
Yeah, but he doesn't have to find Land. He can find
exactly
Boomerang, which he hasn't found yet. So it's very, very likely that he will. And if we can take a look at the overall board just to see all of the open quarters here.
3 open quarters.
This is, yeah, so Shredded actually puts out the fortune teller here, which honestly, with the chances of pulling Boomerang and Land in there, it's
smart. I think it's smart. I think you
save the HP.
You're already at 24 gold. Let's just work with whatever the loss streak gives you, I think, at this point in time. I think it's a smart play from Shredded.
Right. And with that being said, he knows that if Boomerang and Land don't perform well this game, if they land in 8th, then he's fine. But he knows that they're kind of up against each other in their own open forts.
Having a look at the HP, Shredded managing to maintain HP with the Priest, as we said. He is going to go for the Glacier Knights as he has been going for every game. I'm interested to know how many other people are maybe thinking about it. We might have to look at their benches as well, but I know Jinsu for sure was considering it. Having a look at the benches, it looks like Land is also considering it. Maybe Boomerang moving towards an open fort God Mage build, which is something that can work. I've managed to make it work myself before, but it's a little bit more risky to do because Gods are one of those builds that if you just don't get the absolute nuts, it's just bad.
Yeah, it's almost like a Goblin Gamble, but looking for God of Thunder instead of Devastator. And just like a Goblin Gamble, you do need to be healthy enough to give yourself the opportunity and time to roll down and level up for that unit.
Land found Shredded, which will be fine because Shredded fielded that Priest, meaning that he keeps his lose streak alive. Land and Boomerang yet to find each other on this open fort journey that they're both going through right now.
Archdevil still looking very clean right now with that addition of the 2-star God of War. So he's got a lot of tank in the front line, some damage here with the Soulbreaker, and also the Taboo Witcher, a really strong 2-star unit before round 10. And especially if you're going into a feathered build, having that into a 3-star late game is going to be obviously a really good start. But potentially with feathered, we have seen it fall off very quickly. However, from a 100% win streak, it's a much different story.
Boomerang's taken a significant amount of HP damage, by the way, already at 63%. I'd say the average metric that I'm happy with when I'm playing an open fort or lost streak build is if I'm at 50 gold by about 50% HP, I'm usually quite happy. But Boomerang is on a sort of a cusp of maybe being beyond that. Depends on how it goes with the neutral round next.
Yeah, Shredded actually pulling Boomerang, one of those players that we want to keep an eye on. So he will lose his lose streak going into round 10 for the second time. So he doesn't have much of a streak. However, with that Priest being added in, he is still at 74% HP, 38 gold at this point as well, which isn't necessarily the worst situation to be in. However, with his Knights still being contested, it's gonna exponentially hinder him for those roles for the 2-star and 3-star Hell Knight and Lightblade Knights.
I'm really interested to have a look at his bench and what he's got fielded versus the neutral round because he probably hasn't had the chance to buy a lot. He's actually just open forting through the neutral round.
No, that was his bench. So his lineup is a few of those.
I was getting confused there.
It's still going to be close, but I think he can at least kill 1 or 2.
The Argali Knight is a big addition because that heal is actually really powerful versus neutral monsters. Yeah.
Gets it off.
Yeah, he gets it off. That's actually massive. And also, wow.
Yeah, that was very, very lucky there to get the pre-shield on him as well.
He gets through. He gets through. That's insane. That's really good for Shredded. If he lost that round there, he probably wouldn't have been very happy. So,
yeah, taking a look at the items that the players are picking up here are also equally as important. Shredded now with a pair of Magical Crystals and a Cattle Hide armor. So, not so much use for the Magical Crystals as we've talked about in the past for a Knight's Glacier comp, but the Frantic Mask, a very important piece for Lightblade Knight.
Bomberon is, again, like I said, open forting into a God's Mage build, which is something that is difficult to make work. If he gets a 2-star Thunder Spirit and then can kind of snowball that into an experience role, he might be in an okay scenario, but he's a little bit further behind Land and Shredded in terms of economy right now, and he actually gets the win, killing off his loss streak. Land still continuing to open fort right now at 49 gold.
Yeah, I don't mind that from Boomerang at all. Stopping his lose streak round 11. Now looking to go back into at least a win streak, obviously, if possible. However, keeping as much HP now at this point is going to be a very, very good decision. 57% HP for Boomerang. Now taking a look at Chuck's board here with the pair of 2-star Skybreakers and a Heaven Bomber with an early Dragon bonus as well. Just not a Dragon Knight, but he will most likely transition into Dragon Mages with utilizing the Goblins early game, which is a very strong option as well for him. Shredded now picking up a 2-star Hell Knight as well as a pair of Argali Knights. Not necessarily something that you really want in a 4-Knight, 4-Glacier composition. You'd rather see Hell Knight with Evil Knight, Lightblade Knight, and the Frost Knight. However, right now he is over 50 gold, so it's not costing him anything to have those. And that pure damage is going to hopefully take out a couple units here and there. Unfortunately, not able to get any luck on the matchup versus Archdevil, which is 100% right now. So it's going to be tough for him to beat that. Anyway.
And Archdevil is a guy he's contesting for third, by the way, and Archdevil in such a strong spot already. I want to keep an eye on Land versus Shredded, as they're the two that are really contesting fourth. Land would need to get at least 7 points, which means he'd need second, and Shredded would need to get 0 for Land to essentially get fourth in this scenario.
Land is actually only
4 points. Yeah, no, I was looking at Bomberon. So Land would actually need to get 4 points. So that would mean he would need minimum of fourth, I think, because you get third for fifth.
Minimum of fourth if Shredded gets last.
Yeah.
So Land knows what he needs to do. However, if he gets first this game, then that that's 2 extra points again as well. So a couple things could happen for Land's situation. Also going into Knight's Glacier here, not a single 2-star, though at round 13 it is going to be a bit of a struggle. However, he is over 50 gold.
He's also level 7, by the way. So he's actually taken the leveling route over the hyper rolling route, which is the opposite of what Shredded likes to do going into the neutral round here.
Yeah, it's obviously we've talked about it many times, rolling at level 5. However, when you know that there's a bunch of other Knight players in the lobby, taking that guaranteed advantage from your gold is not the worst decision in the world, of course. Now, swapping over to Chuck again with those Dragon bonuses here. We do have a little bit of a farm on the Unicorn now.
I'm actually going to contest you on that point. Just from my personal opinion, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but the chances of finding 1 and 2 cost units is so much greater at level 5 that the likelihood that you find your really core units when you hyper roll at level 5 over leveling is, in my eyes, the better way to play this. I think Shredded is playing this better than Land is in this scenario.
So if Land right now rolls down, I believe he has a 30% chance to find those 2 cost units, and it's only 5% difference.
Is it 35?
It is 35.
Still, I mean, 5% can make a significant difference.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why we do see Shredded going with that strategy, because it is very important. However, he actually goes up to level 6 himself, so kind of removes that advantage that he had previously, but he is much healthier and has some 2-stars at this point going into round 15.
I'm interested to see where Shredded and Land are with their 2-star journeys right now, because that is the sort of the big race that we're watching between the two of them. I think, was it Jinsu as well, considering Glacier Knights at this point in time? I'd need to double check the rest of the compositions, but...
Yeah, I believe it was Jinsu that was also going
there we go.
Knights Glacier here, and Land now spending that gold to roll up. We have Shredded here with his 2-stars. Has a 2-star Evil Knight, which is really, really good, actually.
Yeah, that's good this stage.
Only a 1-star Lightblade, but at least he has one. And Jinsu now actually not going Knight's Glacier, going Hunter instead. So possibly switching out of that Knight possibility. So instead going with this, and he's going to be just fine. round 15. Let's have a look at the items one more time just to see what everybody's working with. Bomeron with a lone Ring of Life.
Yeah, that's not good for Bomeron, I think, especially playing a god build. You really need to get some magic crystals when you eventually find the Storm Shaman, because you just want to make sure that Storm Shaman ultimate is going off as quickly as possible.
Yeah, but just as we say that, now picking up a Magica Crystal and another Ring of Life, so not too bad if he can get one more Magica Crystal. That would turn into a refresher orb there for him. Kong, on the other hand, somebody that's contesting the $450,000, not necessarily in the greatest position for his items. If we can pull up the item list one more time as well to see those.
Yeah.
So Kong in second place right now compared to Jinsu, which is the person he needs to beat. Jinsu absolutely high rolling those items out of his mind.
Yeah, Jinsu's got a great item threshold to work with right now. That's amazing for him. And obviously, he is the one that is looking for the $450,000 at the end of this game. He just needs to beat Kong. It's very unlikely that Archdevil can catch him unless Jinsu bombs from this position onwards. So every decision counts at this point in time. They've both got great economies. It's such a fantastic place for Jinsu to be going into these last few rounds of this entire tournament.
Shredded up here against Seiko now, and he is going to be just fine. Actually found a Soul Reaper as well, and as I say, he's going to be just fine.
He's just
Bomber, he made a little bit of a comeback for the most part, but Shredded, level 6, able to throw in 4 Knights, 2 Glacier with the Aegis bonus and Warlock bonus. So now he's going to start looking at possibly getting up to level 8. So he ends up going underneath 40 gold. I would assume. I don't think he's going to sell anything.
He might sell one Frost Knight if he wins, right?
If he wins, I could definitely see that, because the 3-star Frost Knight, he can get that again later on down the road. Of course, he's got a lower chance to roll it the higher level he gets, but I agree with that. Archdevil, on the other hand, I do think that we actually saw Archdevil high rolling a feathered team getting into the finals here, and once again doing it in the final game of the tournament with 2-star Warpwood Sage, 2 2-star Warpwood Sages, 2 2-star Whisper Seers. All he's looking for is a Razor Claw, and then with the egg on the bench as well already, he'll immediately have a 2-star Razor Claw.
Shredded takes a boatload of damage from Archdevil here. It is a build that a Glacier Knight build will not be until you're hitting the 3-star Lightblade and the 3-star Helm Knight. So Archdevil is now coming in as the Glacier Knight killer in the mid game. For those of the Glacier Knight players that are struggling to make those all-important 2-stars, and Land is definitely one of them right now. He has not hit that 2-star Lightblade Knight, which is oh so important for making these builds work.
And we did see Shredded sell both of the Frost Knights that he had on the bench because he ended up losing that round. I know you said previously if he would have won, he would have just sold one of them, but instead he sold both, so I would definitely agree with that decision from him.
This could be it for Archdevil, you know. Sorry, for Land. This could actually be it. He could be out, and that could essentially all but secure Shredded 4th place.
You might be right here.
I think it's going to be super close.
With the priest bonus, it might be really close.
Oh.
Actually doing much more work with the priest bonus than we originally thought. Shredded, on the other hand, taking 3 damage, but you're right, Land in that situation here is on the cusp of not even having a chance.
Important decision for Land right now. Do you just... No, he's not. Good. I was going to say, do you just chance it on round 19 and try and get through to the neutral round, or do you go to level 8 and try and get your composition online and just hope for the best? He's actually managed to find some important units. He's got a 2-star Soul Reaper. More importantly, has found a 2-star Lightblade Knight at level 8 right now. This is an okay spot. He's almost at a 3-star Frost Knight as well. This, I think, was the better decision for him, and Chuck, I think, is beatable, even though Chuck's got a 3-star Skybreaker.
Yeah, no, this is definitely going to beat Chuck. Chuck's build, honestly, right now is a Goblin Mage build, which, I mean, it might even not be a Goblin Mage build. It might just be a Mech Mage build, which is going to... It's one of those things that works if you roll them really well early on, but isn't going to last you much. Definitely not into round 20.
Shredded still fighting as well as Archdevil right now. Archdevil actually losing to Land. Archdevil does indeed lose to Land at that final blow, and that's why Land made the decision to move up to level 8. This has put him in a good spot to rebuild his economy from scratch.
Was able to get that 2-star Razor Claw, which in turn made the 3-star Warpwood Sage and Whisper Seer for Archdevil as well. So Archdevil honestly putting so much pressure onto this lobby with the team that he has so early on.
Yeah, and this is a little bit like the Poisonous Worm. The Whisper Seer spawns so many little Treant dudes that they also deal damage when they are on the field right now. So if you get into an extended fight with Archdevil and you don't take out the little Treant dudes, he's going to deal some serious damage to you in these rounds. But it's so tense. I mean, I'm obviously keeping an eye on Jinsu. I'm obviously keeping an eye on Kong right now because the lobby's HP totals are really low. But I'm also keeping an eye on Land. I'm also keeping an eye on Shredded because both of these guys are really, really close to that 4th position.
Yeah, and Archdevil, one of those players too where if things happen, he could potentially slide himself into the 1st place position.
Absolutely. It would need Jinsu to come last, or at least close to it for Archdevil to find that. It's Kong and Jinsu that are really in the running for the 450,000 right now. But stranger things have indeed happened. Shredded gets up to level 8 himself with a pretty healthy economy. Actually, no, he's rolled his economy down, as has Land. Land has also rolled his economy down pretty extensively.
I do think that's smart for Shredded to go in here because he's not playing for first. He's not playing for any position other than higher than Land, and he knows Land being in a very dire HP state at 6%. If he could just knock him out, if he could make himself be better than Land and Land pull him, that could be the difference of $32,000.
He beat Land pretty convincingly on his board here. Land managing to win his own battles, as you can see Seiko now. He's actually running is he running a feathered build himself? No, this is Archdevil. We've run onto Archdevil. He actually beat Seiko pretty convincingly. Seiko with the Beast Warrior build. So 2 heavy-hitting builds, dealing a lot of HP damage to people who lose against them right now.
Yeah, and kind of goes back to the matchup RNG. Getting put up against one of those players could spell
Hell Knight
disaster.
For Shredded. That is such a big pickup when you're looking for that 4th spot right now.
Absolutely, and 4th spot is in his contention, but also 3rd spot is a possibility.
Unless Archdevil goes from 1st to last, realistically, and then Shredded gets 1st, it would be a very, very big reach for him to get 3rd.
Okay.
However,
it's a possibility.
I'm telling you, there's a chance. I'm telling you, there is indeed a chance. Kong is. I mean, if Kong goes out pretty soon, that is Jinsu all but secured for 1st place.
Yeah, this is extremely close. If Kong goes out.
If Kong goes out, he can't get 1st.
Archdevil, though,
Archdevil could get 2nd.
But if Archdevil gets 1st, and there's already 2 players out, like say Land and Kong go out.
So how many points do you get for 6th? 2?
2.
You get 2 points for 6th, right? So that would leave Jinsu at 36. That would mean you tie if Jinsu went out at 6th. Jinsu needs 5th and above to guarantee himself 1st. If Archdevil came 1st,
it'd have to go to a tiebreaker.
It would have to go to a tiebreaker if he came out in 6th. There's a lot of mental math being done at this point in time.
So much money on the line. So little rounds to decide who that money is going to. Now, Boomerang up against Chuck. Land, on the other hand, 6% HP. Kong, 17% HP. Land is going to pull it off here with the 3-star Frost Knight.
Kong is at 2% HP. If Kong goes out on the next round, Jinsu is in almost the money. He's almost in the money at that point in time. He's got to just fend off Archdevil.
If Kong and Land both go out in the same round, that could be it.
As tiebreaker, though.
Tiebreaker. Okay.
But Jinsu got
But he just has to wait for one more.
But Jinsu got 2 1st places, right? So you'd need to match that as Archdevil. I think that's your 1st tiebreaker. I need confirmation from absolutely some sort of being in the production area.
I can't sit down anymore.
I'm actually kind of feeling a bit restless myself. I'm not going to lie. This is. I need to stand up. This is insane.
Round 24 here all eyes on Kong and Land at this point.
He's
Kong
against
getting put up
Seiko,
against
it's the Beast
Seiko.
Warrior, and he's got the Marie.
Kong able to take out Psycho here and live into the creep round here and get on to round 25.
So we were just a little bit silent there because we were getting read the rules and it was quite difficult to concentrate on the rules and talk. It is essentially the number of times you've come first in a series that determines the first tiebreaker. I believe, I don't even know, but I believe Jinsu has that. Even if Archdevil got first, I don't think...
He already has two
He already has two
first
first
finishes.
places. I don't think Archdevil has got a first place so far. I think Archdevil has become... So if they tie and it goes to first place tiebreaker, Jinsu wins on tiebreaker.
So Kong needs to go out. One more needs to go out. Just like that, Jinsu $450,000 richer.
Yeah.
Period.
I'm also going to just highlight Shredded right now, currently in third position, has again made this open fort work in his favor. He's got a 3-star Hell Knight. He's working towards a 3-star Lightblade Knight.
And if he sees Land go out, that's guaranteeing him. If we can
Is
take
Kong
a look
out?
at Kong,
Kong is out!
is out.
Oh
that
my
leaves
God.
it up to Land, and if Land goes out, then that secures Shredded at least a fourth place spot. But of course, $450,000 for
Jinsu.
the South Korean native.
Oh, Kong, you can see it. He knows. He knows exactly what has happened here. And I'm going to be honest, Kong might even get knocked down into third.
It is very possible because Archdevil is right next to him in the standings at third place and doing extremely well with his feathered build.
It's on Bomberon, it's on Land. We're even looking at Chuck right now as well. Chuck, maybe even with the weakest build. This is absolutely insane. Okay, so this is now we're keeping an eye on Bomberon. He's going up against this feathered player.
We need to go over to Land right here. This is...
I don't know. This is
Bomberon too.
Oh,
yeah,
no,
if
no,
he goes out,
he's
no,
fine.
he's fine.
He's fine.
So,
is he fine? No, he is fine.
He's fine.
He's fine.
Swapping over to Land.
He's also fine. He's beating Shredded. He's actually beating Shredded. Oh, just about beating Shredded here. My word, I am on the edge right now. I think I'm looking at the difference between Land and Shredded, and I think it's nigh on unlikely that Shredded gives up fourth position right now. It's nigh on unlikely that Shredded gives up fourth position because the last place is now already gone. There has to be a 4-point difference between Land and Shredded is sitting on a 3-star Hell Knight. You would have to have a series of the most unlucky like Night Shield matchup RNGs for Shredded to not get fourth in this position.
Yeah, Shredded is feeling really, really good. Jinsu, on the other hand, he is just waiting for one more player. He has 28% HP to work with before that actually happens. Now, it's not unheard of that he can go out, but Land now getting put up against Bomra, I think he's going to be just fine in this matchup,
yeah.
Although that 2-star Tortola Elder can wreak havoc over his team if he actually gets it off.
He's good,
However,
he's good.
Without a source there.
Bomberon, look at Bomberon.
Sure, yeah, if we look at Bomberon, Bomberon's safe.
Bomberon's okay.
We need to keep our eyes on those last two players that have a potential of going out.
Oh,
Because
Jinsu's getting knocked down. Jinsu's getting knocked down.
Jinsu did get put up against Land, so Land is one of those players that he needs to have that go out. But Shredded also needs to have Land go out.
My word, I've never felt so tense for Jinsu. That's a 3-star Lightblade Knight for Land right now. That's a 3-star Lightblade Knight for Land.
Which is exactly what he needs right now.
Exactly. Imagine if Land can somehow take over and Shredded comes 4 points below him, we go into a tiebreaker scenario.
The tensions in the arena are so high. Every single round has a potential of deciding.
He's going up against Land. Bomberon is going up against Land. This is a terrible matchup for him with that 3-star Lightblade Knight.
This could be it for Jinsu. He's got 19% HP. Bomberon only on 3% HP.
Oh, the Lightblade Knight, he got blown up. Oh no, he's done.
What? He's got it.
Oh my God.
He's got it. Bomberon.
Oh my God.
It's going to come down to 1 HP.
Oh, it's a claw.
He's fine.
Oh,
Chuck goes out.
That's Jinsu's got it. Jinsu's got it. Jinsu's got $450,000.
Jinsu just won $450,000. I don't think he knows it. Yeah, he's sitting there still super composed. If I was him,
I'm certain.
It's positive.
The tiebreaker is that Jinsu has got to first place. If Archdevil even wins this, he's only got this first place.
Archdevil, you can see now
I need
all eyes
confirmation.
on Archdevil.
He's nodding. I'm getting a nod from the confirmation.
He's got it. Jinsu's got it.
I mean,
that's it. Jinsu has won $450,000 in the Auto Chess Invitational here in Shanghai, China. Now, Archdevil, though, with $200,000 on the line for him, he is looking at...
He needs to get fourth or above.
That's it.
That's it. He needs
two more
fourth and
people
above.
for Archdevil. That's it.
Land going up against Bomber on here. He did beat him just about in a draw, rather, on the previous turn. You can see... 3-star Lightblade Knight is going to pull him through. Bomberon goes out. That definitely confirms it 100%. But not only that, it basically gives Shredded that fourth place as well.
And Jinsu goes out. That's even confirming Archdevil $200,000 here at the Auto Chess Invitational. The crowd is absolutely ecstatic for these players.
The only other thing that can happen now is if Land comes first and Shredded gets knocked out in fourth, we have a tiebreaker for fourth position, I believe.
That's right. Land is actually
because
clawing
there's
his way up from
points.
6%
There's 4 points
HP.
between them. Oh my word.
Land does have the build to do it. Shredded, on the other hand, if we can swap over to him, it is a creep round. Everybody can take a breath. I'm sure all the fans at home are on the edge of their seat right here.
Shredded, he hasn't got the 3-star Lightblade. He's working only with the 3-star Hell Knight. I would argue that he can beat Seiko. I don't think, I mean, it really comes down to Night Shield RNG when you're going up against Land. But if he goes up against Archdevil, I don't think he's got it. Shredded has got an Orb of Refresh on his Desperate Doctor, but it is only a Desperate Doctor 2. So it's not a game changer. This is absolutely insane. This is really very, very insane.
And it's crazy that the two players who are fighting for fourth and fifth, or I'm sorry, yeah, fourth and fifth, are playing such a very similar build.
This is crazy. Land needs first. Shredded needs to get fourth for that position to even potentially change. I don't even know what the tiebreaker is between these two guys, but it might be Land's because he would get first place.
Land getting put up against Archdevil here, not his best matchup, but if we look at the feathered procs here, I believe he's going to be just fine. He does have 6% HP to work with. Just needs to kill a couple more, but it looks like it is getting overpowered.
This is so crazy, so close. Shredded and Land both win here. Archdevil loses to Land. It is that 3-star Lightblade making a massive difference for him in this particular matchup. My heart is bursting out of my body.
Best.
Yeah. We already know who gets 450,000. That's been confirmed. We already know who gets second, 200,000. We already know who gets, well, no, we're not entirely sure between second and third. Yeah, we are, because Archdevil's for sure got it right.
Yes.
We already know who gets third, which is 100,000 for Kong. We are now waiting to see who will claim that fourth spot and $50,000. It's Shredded or Land at this point in time.
$38,000 is no joke.
It's
that
no
is
joke.
The prize pool for a lot of esports tournaments as well, as we've noted several times. So this Shredded, though, actually getting put up against the powerful Archdevil. If certain things happen here, he could very easily get knocked out at fourth. And it looks like it's going to happen. The Hell Knight is going against the shielded, shining Assassin, and I think this is going to be it. So Shredded is going to go out. If we swap over to Land here,
Land's going out as well.
Goes out. Shredded takes home fourth position and $50,000, just barely knocking out Land.
$50,000 confirmed for Shredded, an invited content creator. That is an incredible result for him. But now Archdevil, he's guaranteed. We know exactly where people are coming, and it's just coming down to Seiko. It's impossible for Seiko to catch up to fourth. It's merely just a pride thing now. And
we just love to keep the camera on Archdevil here. You can see there is some emotion in his face. Just, I'm sure he knows at this point that he's secured himself an extra $100,000, just solidifying himself into a second place position.
Unbelievable. But what a series for Jinsu as well. He needed it to go his way at the final moment, and it absolutely did. And now it's a matter of business between Archdevil. This is a build that really should win for Archdevil. There should be a first place finish for him. It generally favors against Beast Warrior, and I think it's being shown right here.
Just fine. Seiko taking 22 damage here. Round 34. This could be the last round of the Invitational.
They're guaranteed to face each other. There's no RNG matchup shenanigans going to take place here. Seiko just does not have a build that beats Feathered Hunter particularly well. And he hasn't really got the 3-star, the 2 stars even that are necessary for him to win this particular matchup either. He puts that Berserker on in place of the Doom, but I don't know how much of a difference it's going to make overall.